Hello, vinyl community, and welcome back to Mike's Vinyl Experience. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very, very much. Today, I'm going to be doing a review of Alice Cooper's 1975 first solo album, an iconic album for sure, Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. This is a great album. As a kid, in 1975, I believe I was in the 7th grade, and I played the living daylights out of this album when it was released. We would have a group of us that would get together and would put this album on and play it, side one, side two, play the entire album over and over again, and just have a wonderful time. This was really a concept album of Alice Cooper. As many of you already know this, like I say, this was his first solo album. All albums prior to that, and I believe there was 5, not sure, were all done as the Alice Cooper Band. And they were great albums as well. I mean, you've got Billion Dollar Babies in there, which might be my favorite Alice Cooper Band album. And then prior to that was School's Out. That's an iconic album within itself. I mean, that's kind of a rock ballad that gets played in May and June all the time in heavy rotation then because of school getting out. But this album in particular is just a wonderful album. Well, let's take a look at it and see what Analogue Productions is doing and has done with this great album. Let's take a look. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this out of the sleeve and lose the records real quick and take a look at the cover. Of course, this is an old style tip-on gatefold jacket. Pretty much what they've been doing with the vast majority of the Atlantic 75 Analogue production covers. And I got to tell you once again, and I know we've talked about this a lot, the quality of work that is being done on these album covers, in my opinion, is second to none. They are doing a phenomenal job. Look at the quality of the imagery on there, how shiny that is. The colors are absolutely wonderful. Let's kind of open up the gatefold, and I hope that I can allow you to see this without much glare. If you can see that in there, it goes through and talks about each one of the songs, the musicians that are on it. I don't know, does it have the lyrics on there? Yeah, it's got the lyrics there on that. And then, of course, on the back side, keep in mind this is a dual 45 RPM album, so there's 2 albums, 4 sides, and it kind of gives you a description of what they've of the songs there. So that'd be the only difference between this and the original album, is you've got 2 records, obviously, instead of 1. Now, the vinyl that they have been doing has just been absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely wonderful. Here's side 1. I don't know if you can see that there, and not any glare. The vinyl is 180 gram, pressed at RTI. Chris Bellman with Bernie Grundman Studios did the remastering on this album, and he's done, in my estimation, a wonderful, wonderful job. I know Mobile Fidelity did this album several years ago. I actually had it at one point and sold it. It was better than the original by this much, but this here is absolutely incredible. Let me just start by kind of going through the songs on this with you. And those of you that are not familiar with Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare album, jump on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever it is that you listen to your music and listen to this album. It's a great album. What it is indicated. It's a concept album that Alice Cooper did as his first solo album. It's talking about a young man, a boy by the name of Stephen, and it's just talking about his basic nightmares that he's having. And it's just, I mean, Alice Cooper, what a theatrical guy, what a great storyteller that he is. And he just kind of goes through, and the first song on the album. Side 1, first song, Welcome to My Nightmare. This is a great, great song. Might be my favorite on the entire album. Keep in mind, I know over on side 2, the song on this album that got the absolute most playing time and critical acclaim, if you will, whatever it might be, is the ballad Only Women Bleed. But Welcome to My Nightmare, listen to that track. In fact, listen to Welcome to My Nightmare, Devil's Food, and The Black Widow. Now on Devil's Food, all of you have heard of Vincent Price. He's the curator on this track, and he has a little part towards the very end of the song. And you've got to get on and listen to this. This is just great, great stuff. And it leads into the song, Devil's Food's a good song as well, but it leads into The Black Widow. And it's a great, great song, how Devil's Food leads into Black Widow through Vincent Price. You've got to listen to this if you're not familiar with it. It's just a great, great track and so fun to listen to. I mean, like I say, the whole album is kind of a story about Stephen going through his nightmares, and it's just a great, great. It's just a great album. You've just got to hear it. Over on side 2, Some Folks, another really, really good song. And then, of course, Only Women Bleed. It's really a ballad. It's not a hard rock song. In fact, the really hard rock, I don't know if anyone want to call them hard rock, but the real rock songs on here are Welcome to My Nightmare, Devil's Food, Cold Ethel, Department of Youth is definitely, and then the Awakening. But these are it's really a fun album. Like I say, if you're not familiar with the album, jump on wherever it is that you listen to your music and just check it out. It's just a fun. As far as the sound quality on this album is indicated, Chris Bellman just did a great job. Honestly and truthfully, okay, the album was recorded back, I think, between 1973 and 74 and released in 1975. Initially, the sound of the album wasn't spectacular by any means. But boy, what Chris Bellman and Analogue Productions has done with this album, in my mind, this is absolutely the definitive copy of this album that you can get as far as sound quality is going to go. Right at the very opening on Welcome to My Nightmare, the guitars right at the very first are clean and present. Probably the biggest thing that I've noticed a difference in this album, and right now the only thing that I have it on is CD, and so that's really not much to compare it to. My original album that I had of this, we played the crap out of it, and it's hammered. The cover looks like crap. The album's, I mean, it's been borrowed. People, I mean, back in 1975, that album saw a lot of and probably through the entire 70s saw a lot of action, but this is an excellent rendering of, I think, Alice Cooper's solo, and some will argue Killer's a really good album on his solo career. This is probably his very, very best album as part of his solo career, but Analogue Productions, Chris Bellman has done a fantastic job of putting together this, in my mind, classic album and making it sound absolutely phenomenal. You've got to hear it to believe it. If you're an Alice Cooper fan and love this album, there's not a better version of the album out there, at least that I'm familiar with, that you can get. This is it. This is the best one. Moving on to side 3, Department of Youth, Cold Ethel, years ago. Great, great music right there as well. And then, of course, Stephen, that's a great song. You got to listen to Stephen. And then, of course, The Awakening, and then The Escape from the Nightmares. But a great album. Once again, definitive copy, or the definitive version of this album is this Atlantic 75 Analogue Productions version. The sound is incredible. They've rescued, in my mind, a great album. Voices are probably the most recognizable They are precise, they sound wonderful, and sometimes when you clean up that top end in the mid-range, sometimes albums can get a little edgy, or maybe even a little bright. Not the case here, not at all. And the bottom end is good, whereas they didn't overdo the bottom end. Grateful for that, because sometimes that can get a little annoying and really, you know, unbalance the sound, if you will. The sound on this is excellent, 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 excellent. They've taken a 1975 release and really made it new again. It's a great, great album. Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. What a great album by Analogue Productions. Highly, highly recommended. If you're not familiar with the albums, once again, jump on, listen to it, vet it out before you buy it. But this is a great, wonderful journey that you're going to want to listen to, in my mind, time and time again. I've listened to this 4 or 5 different times, and I know I'm going to be listening to it a lot because it just brings back incredible memories for me at a time when life was just to have fun. Life was fun. There was no real responsibilities, no big issues, no big problems, no worries. It was just fun, and this album really added to that enjoyment of the era. But great, great album. Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare, Analogue Productions, as part of the Atlantic 75 series. Highly, highly recommended. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you will tune in and watch some of the other videos that we've got coming out. I'm going to be doing a comparison of the Crosby, Stills and Nash album as part of the Atlantic 75 and Analogue Productions. I'll be comparing that to a Classic Recordings. And then we've got Hootie and the Blowfish that we'll be taking a look at. That's another great album. Matchbox 20, we're going to be looking at that album. I've got those that have come out. I've got a Bob Dylan new album that just came out from Mobile Fidelity. Not a new album, but a repress of an album that just came out from Mobile Fidelity. We'll be taking a look at that. That's actually pretty promising as well. So we've got a lot of great stuff coming down the pike here right away. Appreciate every one of you so much, as indicated. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate that very much. But more importantly to me, as indicated, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think, or anything else that you want to talk about. I greatly appreciate you for leaving comments in the comment section. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Thank you.